Three's Company. They come to you from Andy's every Wednesday night. And there's nothing you can see that's as funny. It's free. Like the girls in Guy Law, Three's Company.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're looking live at Three's Company Radio Show. I'm Mandy Jones.
And I'm Bonnie Scalisi. How are you, everybody?
We are stand-up comedians, and we quarantine to our homes.
Oh, shit. I forgot to turn down the volume. Oh, we're starting off well.
All right. And we always
Sorry.
we always are like, we're not going to talk before the show starts, and there we go talking. All right. Posting to our pages.
Thank you. So it's on my page?
Yeah, so now you're good.
Oh,
now,
as talking about people tuning in, Tony Walker. I wanted to talk about Tony Walker from Knock 'em Dead. Anthony Graz from Limo Talk is watching. Heather, Robin DeVito, and Greg DeFlippo and Bill Hansen. I just wanted to say happy birthday to Tony Walker. His birthday was yesterday. It was my first time ever doing a drive-by birthday party, and I just was so thrilled to be a part of his special day. He turned 50, and I hope he had a wonderful time. But it was very, very difficult. I had to get those boys fast food. I had a race over there. And, I just wanted to make sure that I was there for Tony, because Tony has done so much for our radio show. The whole cast of Knock 'em Dead, Sally, O'Neill, Eric, and Tony. If it wasn't for them, there wouldn't be a show here at all. So I wish him a very, very happy birthday. And Sally's birthday is tomorrow. So we're very excited about, I'm excited about what they're going to do on their show tomorrow. I'm going to set my alarm to get up and watch it, because I have been going to bed at dawn and sleeping till 1 o'clock. I've been a mess. So
Bonnie's a vampire.
Joan Krupe Asher is watching, and Joan was watching Felix's show, which is Let's Eat Long Island, and I was watching it too. And Danielle came on, and it just clicked then that they were related. I didn't realize that Joan is Danielle's mom.
Oh, yeah, no, I did put that
Mark
together.
White is watching. Mark White, I love your posts, man. I was very honored that he took a couple of my posts about politics and put it on his page. And I have taken a bunch of his and put them on mine, because we both feel, I think he's hilarious, his Facebook page. So if you don't know who Mark White is, he's the bassist for the Spin Doctors. He's been a guest on the show in the past, and I love his stuff on Facebook. Joey Cola, how are you? Joey Cola is watching. Nevin Cummings is watching, and he's telling us that we're looking good. Thank you, Nevin.
My mom, hello, ladies. Hey, Mary.
Heather is watching, your cousin, and Bill Hansen, how are you? So I wanted to also talk about, this has nothing to do, our theme tonight, so you can start thinking about it, because we're going to be asking you guys, giving you a homework assignment. Our theme tonight is stories about when you got lost. But, if you could put it succinctly in like a paragraph, because even with the cell phones, I've gotten lost. And we have some things that we were talking about that are pretty funny about times that we've gotten lost. But I wanted to say something because it came up in my memories. There's a show called...
Is your phone playing?
No.
Is something playing?
I don't know. We're hearing a noise. Sorry, guys.
You can keep going.
Marianne the Hell is watching. Johnny McDonald, hi.
Oh,
and Mark White is saying hi, everybody.
Tomorrow's my little brother's birthday. They're doing a drive-by. Okay. What time? I'll be there.
Okay.
I'll drive by.
So there's a show called The Housewives of New York City. So I'm a big fan of The Housewives, and this came up in my memories. I did this last year. This is just stupid things that I do. I do a lot of stupid things. This was really, in particular, a very stupid one. So there's this person on The Housewives. Her name is Dorinda Medley, and she's known for saying when she gets upset and people are like, "Well, how are you doing?" and she goes, "Not well, bitch." All right. So I belong to a whole bunch of groups. I belong to the Bravo group. I belong to comedy groups. I belong to Trump groups. I belong to all these groups. So this thing came up and it said, "Hi, how's everybody doing?" And I thought it was my Bravo group. So I wrote, how am I doing? Not well, bitch. And it was my special ed group page.
Did you get kicked out of the group?
They go, excuse me? So I apologize profusely because I didn't do it on purpose. I honestly never do these things on purpose.
I know. I thought I was in the Drunk Housewives fucking fan page.
I did. And anything goes on that Housewives page. Cursing, almost everything goes. Andrew Pajanis is watching. Robert T. Johnson is saying, hello, girls. Good to see you. Stay safe and keep the faith. Thank you, Robert.
My
Mary Ann
cousin
saying
Terry.
it's at 12 o'clock. Greg DeFlippo. Okay, he already has his first thing. Getting lost. I guarantee you and Graz have a million stories. Here, Graz, you drive a limo, so you must have a lot of getting lost stories, right? So think of your best one if you can, and send it in. Do you want to go first with your first story?
Yeah, well, I'll start with something that's topical. First time I went to fucking meet owners for the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Company radio show.
I was there.
My truck is a 2017 truck, and it fucking sucks with the GPS. You have to use your phone GPS because it doesn't go by the city. It goes by the zip code. So I put in 90 Division Avenue, and it grabbed Hempstead instead of Levittown for where Comedy's come. And I look on the map, and I zoom in, and I could see what's at a Petco right there. There's a Petco right next to the Comedy Club. So I'm like, okay, 90 Division Avenue. Go to 90 Division Avenue in Hempstead. Also happens to be a Petco right fucking there.
Pat,
half hour away.
Pat Clayton is going, stop swearing. If you haven't watched our show before, Pat, this is what Mandy does, so get used to it.
They created drinking games based on my poor language. You can take a sip every time
That's what makes Mandy wonderful and unique. So sorry.
My trash mouth.
So we're trying to impress the owners of Governors. It's the very first meeting.
Yeah, so I actually leave work early so that I could take it. Then I didn't even tell you this in the car on the way there. I sweat through my shirt. I'm like, oh my god, I need to wear something else. I can't even wear it. Totally get to the wrong place.
Yeah, but
what am I hearing though? Am I really hearing something? Is
Yeah.
that on the?
Do
you guys hear feedback?
I hear like a little song or something.
Is something?
So Joan Krupiasher is saying Graz seems to always miss his turn when he's on the road. Is that true, Graz?
Next to the Comedy Club.
That's you.
So I'm like, okay, no, but I just want to. I just wanted to make sure you guys weren't hearing some weird feedback because it sounds like there's a fucking ghost up in here. Okay, yeah, so I go to 90 Division Avenue, Levittown, Hempstead. Totally, Bonnie's like, at this point, it's fine. Don't rush. We got the show. We don't even need you at this point.
This was our first meeting with Larry. There's a couple of owners.
Yeah, talk about first impressions.
Yeah, so
it's she got lost. It's 2019. No, she didn't. Lying bitch.
No, people. This is one of my stories because you're bringing me into that. I have a Jeep. My ex and I were on a family trip, and family trips. Come on, let's all be honest. Family trips suck. The kids are, it's just it's never fun.
From a trip.
You need a trip from your family trip. So the GPS is guiding us around, and we're in the middle of nowhere. It's like a dirt road, and all of a sudden, it's telling us to keep going straight, and the road looked funny. So my ex just happened to stop the car, and there wasn't a barrier. There was nothing there, and literally there was a mountain drop. It was like a bridge that had been demolished.
Keep going.
We could have been killed, and the GPS was just telling us to go over the bridge.
Well, that's why the first thing it says is mind the road and traffic.
Yeah. So Mary is saying that there's no feedback, that we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, I was hoping Robin DeVito would tune in because I'm sure she has some very interesting stories.
Robin private messaged me a story that we'll get into.
Yeah, if she shows up, then we can put her
divulge.
in. Greg DeFlippo, you have any getting lost stories? Or Andrew Pojanos, you have any?
I know. You guys are from like the 1800s. You haven't had GPS since like most of your life. Like
We're from the Stone Age, so we have lots of stories, okay?
What do you got, Bonnie?
Okay, as a kid, I said I got upset with my parents and I decided to run away. I think I was like 9. And I actually took a stick, like in the Little Rascals, and I put like my stuffed animals in there, and I tied like a towel to the stick, and I had it over my shoulder, and I just started walking in my neighborhood, and I got lost, and I didn't know where I was. And then I had my first panic attack. I'm walking, and finally I see something that looks familiar, a street that looks familiar, and I get home. And nobody even knew I was gone. So that's Jennifer Latini is watching. Hi, Jennifer. How are you? Oh my God, I miss Jennifer. Jennifer, we have wine here tonight. Whenever I see wine, I think of Jennifer, and I love wine and I love Jennifer. So I equate the two things together. And Jennifer, I loved your interview with Kristen Tinsley. She was on a show with Kristen Tinsley the other night. Kristen has a podcast from hers, and I just loved watching. She was telling all about being an organ donor, transplant, and all the different things. I really enjoyed it. So now it's your turn.
Okay. Well, when I was growing up, when I first started driving, there was like this is something different.
She's trying to get the comments up on the screen so I don't have to keep looking at my phone. But it's not working. Hey, I'm just happy we're on the air. I did a quarantine life the other day, and I'm so technologically challenged that I did Facebook Live instead, and I couldn't even do Facebook Live. I was supposed to start at 2:00. All these people started messaging, "Why aren't you on the air? Why aren't you on the air?" And I'm pressing all these buttons. It says live, but nobody's seeing me. So I started at 2:25, and I have no idea what I did that finally got it to work. But I bowed down to you for being able to get this technology going. I could never do it. So getting back to your story.
Well, my stepdad, I used to call him Mike Quest instead of Map Quest, because I would call him between the ages of like 16 and 19. I would call him and give him like street corners of like where I'm parked. And he'd be like, I'm gonna need to call in a favor, and you're gonna have to be like, all right, what are you looking at? And so then he'd pull out an atlas in his car, pull over, get an atlas, and then direct me back to where I needed to go. And I called on my stepdad a couple of times. So I would call him Mike Quest.
My mom was Taz, the residential artist. Hi Taz, how are you?
Welcome, Taz.
Yeah, Taz was drawing I think Knock 'Em Dead, all the people from Knock 'Em Dead the other day. I missed it, and there's so many great shows on that there's like one after another now. They're just like there's so many great ones, but. I would have liked to have seen Taz draw that, but I didn't know it was on. So there should be a better way of like advertising the shows so that we know when something's coming up. I would make it a priority to see it. Like I know tomorrow is Sally's birthday from Knock 'Em Dead, so I'm making it a priority to see that show. So if you guys have any ideas of how we can, advertise stuff, that would be great. So. I think it's my turn.
Yeah, what do you got?
You guys, I know getting lost stories are a pain to type in, so I don't blame you if you don't want to do it. But if you think of something, this happened recently to me. John Butera, he's a producer. He had a comedy softball based game where we were playing against blind people. No, this is a true story. And I was invited to be one of the people on the comedy team.
Not on the blind. You were invited to be on
Tony Walker was there, Graz was there, Eric was there,
They're like, we won't give you our best comics.
Michelle,
just give
Michelle
us some
McDonald was
average.
there. Emily Santosis was there. John Santo. I mean,
She knocked it out of the park, though, right? She was like the best one, Emily.
oh yeah, Emily could really play. But the funny thing is, they told me, where the place was, and I typed it into my GPS, and I get to a school, and there's no one there. So I'm like, so then I texted somebody from the game, like, oh, you're in the wrong place. Right now we're in Deer Park. Okay, so I was in like, I don't know, Syosset, wherever I was in the wrong place, because apparently the same address has many different locations.
Yeah, there's like Cedar Beach everywhere.
Yeah, so then I pressed it again, and I go to another place, and once again, there was no one there. And so then I think it was Andrew Pajanis or somebody started trying to talk me through, and Michelle tried to talk me through. I'm like, I'm going to give it one more shot. And if I can't find you guys, I give up. So I got there. There was literally maybe 15 minutes left to the whole freaking game. I drove for almost an hour and 40 minutes going absolutely nowhere. And this is with the GPS. So that's how bad I am with directions and technology. Oh, okay. Greg DeFlippo has a story. Okay. Keith Fitz. Tell us about any time you got lost, okay? So Greg DeFlippo said he got lost once as a kid back in the early 80s. My friend took his father's Duster one night. That's a car, right? Greg, that's a Duster. Without him knowing, and we drove to Lake Ronkonkoma to do fishing, and we had to have the car back before 5 a.m. when he left for work. So we left the lake at 3:30. I got lost. I didn't get back to his house till 7 p.m. and he was grounded for a year. Oh my God.
A year.
So the fact that you couldn't return the car, you kind of were sneaking the car, and you were supposed to replace it before the parents got up. That's not good. Yeah. Ronnie Welsh, how are you? Thanks for joining us. So you want to go?
Yeah, I see Robin DeVito has joined us. Robin, hello. I'm going to tell Robin's story. When Robin was in high school, her and a friend went up to...
I like this story.
went up to her friend's brother's college to, like, party. And little beknowns to the friend, Robin was, like, seeing the brother. Like, not just, like, visiting him. Like,
Robin, I aspire to be like Robin.
Robin's like so kinky and risque. So she says she used the word sloshed, and then she said she proceeded to stray from the group to go try to find her boyfriend or whatever. And
she always seems to be like, she beats to her own drummer.
Yeah, so she gets completely lost, ends up, like, asleep in a fucking field, like, gives up. And she said this, like, big guy starts, like, walking over to her, and she's like, oh, my God, sir, thank you. Like, I'm lost. Like, thank you. He's like, what makes you think that you could, like, trust me? And I was like, oh, my God. Like, were you okay? She said he just, she's like, I think he was trying to teach me a lesson, but I guess he was somebody that was able to get her back to...
All right, so my boyfriend is tuning in. Michael Steven Spielberg. Keith Fitz is tuning in, and we do have another story from Keith Fitz. Okay, and I actually saw you on Kristen's show also, and you did a great job on there. He was driving one night and decided after drinking 1.5 liters of vodka to go for a walk. I was 2 blocks away, sat down, and forgot where I was, so I wasn't sure how to get back. My friends made search parties looking for me before cell phones or even beepers. Oh my God! When I get drunk, I just fall asleep. So at least I don't wander around.
Yeah, I know you can't go very far.
Right? It's so my boyfriend's saying hi. All right. So is it my turn or your turn?
You can go. You got more than I do.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. Another family trip with the GPS. We're trying to get to Hershey Park. We have a hotel reservation.
I still have never been to Hershey and want to go.
It's great for kids. I mean, they weren't kids.
They have big coasters, though, right?
Yeah, we didn't go on any of that. I'm there for the chocolate, you know? So we're so close to our hotel room, and the GPS kept bringing us to this factory.
It's like, now you
An
need to go on a
abandoned
chocolate tour.
Yeah, and it wasn't just a factory; it was an abandoned factory. So then he'd reset it, put the address in, and then we would go say, "You're only 2 minutes away," and we drive around, and then we would end up at this same abandoned factory. And my ex was cursing. The kids in the back, they were upset. And this is what fun is supposed to be. This is family vacation. It's supposed to be fun, but it's not always fun.
Well, that reminds me of when we went to Staten Island Comedy Show, and we went through the Hewell Tunnel, the Hewell Carry Tunnel.
Oh, yeah! Oh, my God! Me and Mandy, that's right, I forgot. Mandy and I got lost together. Nevin Cummings, if you're watching, we got lost. He was sweet enough to invite us on his show, the Staten Island
it's
comedy show.
We're like, it's at 8:00. We're like, let's meet
We
up
left
at
so
4.
early!
We're like, let's meet up at 4, and then we're like, let's meet up at like 12, just so we can like get we literally drove the entire Manhattan skyline. We went
Wait, let me tell you something. I've been to Staten Island because I had a friend that used to live there. And I said to myself, I think Mandy's going the wrong way, but she's the millennial. She must know what she's doing. And I didn't say anything. But all of a sudden, I see we're like approaching Manhattan. And I'm like, wait, I think we went through the Holland Tunnel. We were supposed to go to Staten Island.
We went through the Hewell Carry Tunnel twice. We start going through it, and then it's saying, you're about to approach the tunnel. And me and Bonnie are like, are we in the tunnel?
And then there was another tunnel. And then
back the other direction.
And then we went over some other bridge. I never said anything to you, Mandy, but I got so many bills for tolls. We got billed for going through because we were using my, whatever that thing is that you don't have to pay
Maurice
tolls anymore.
called us and was like, I'm turning off the Easy Pass.
Yeah, Maurice was so pissed. He's like, what
you
the hell?
You're trying to get $500 limit on the fucking Easy Pass.
Right, he goes, you try to get to Staten Island and you go into every tunnel and toll for
like
around in a circle. All right, your cousin has a story.
We said we were honing in on it like this.
But we did. We were on time. We were early. We were before. We're very professional. We're very professional.
All the producers. We had a nice dinner.
That's right. All right. So your cousin Heather was saying she didn't have a cell phone at the time. It was her first year in college. She was 18 years old. The person who was supposed to be picking her up was late, or I got out of class early. I heard the other kids there that their buses are in and out of the college. So I took a bus by myself, and I didn't know where to get off at. Oh, that's scary. So I got off at the last stop, and I recognized a building right across from the bus stop. I was hungry, and there was a McDonald's right next to the building I recognized. After I ate, it was like 8 o'clock at night, and I saw a payphone nearby. I called the house, and my stepfather answered, and I told him where I was, and he picked me up. So Heather, just type in. When something like that happens to you, don't you get an adrenaline rush, like a panic attack almost? I mean, like I do. I freak out. Robin's saying that we're both cracking her up. Well, Robin, you crack us up. I was saying that I want to be more like you, like more carefree, and you just know how to have fun.
I want to be in your closet too, Robin. Oh my God, your wardrobe.
Yeah, she has great style and great taste. So your mom is saying, "Oh my God, you two, that's funny." No, it's a true story. I didn't even think of that.
I totally forgot about that until just now.
Yeah, just now. And it's one of the, technically we were lost.
And technically we were together out in the real world. Because Bonnie and I are usually in comedy clubs or bars.
Yes, and I was like, road trip. Because I never
we didn't
go
leave
anywhere.
New York. We were calling it a road trip. We left the county.
Yeah. To me, Staten Island is a road trip because I usually never leave Long Island. Oh, Robin's asking where the wine is. This is the wine we're drinking tonight. We already drank this one. This one's empty, and now we're working on this one.
Oh my
God. You guys, I hope you guys are holding up. I know everybody's getting tired of this quarantine life. It's like enough already. So you just told a story. I guess it's my turn. All right. We're talking about when we were kids. Not kids, college. In college. In France, I did student teaching in England. I was to be a teacher. So I taught 5-year-olds in England, and I spent a semester of college there. And when the college was over, me and these 2 girls decided to travel. All right, this kind of brings me back to Robin. This brings me back to last week's episode of hostels, because we stayed at hostels. And I think all the shit that could have happened to us as 3 young girls, we were all, I guess, we were at least maybe 20. I mean, we were all young. And it was New Year's Eve. So we were in Ireland, and we were supposed to take a boat over to Paris. But she messed up somehow, the girl who did all the arrangements. And we got there a day late, and they gave our hostel to somebody else. So we're like, oh, crap. So what we did was we start getting in a cab and trying other places. And it's New Year's Eve, so everything's taken. And so finally, the guy's driving us place. Everything's all booked up. He goes, in his French accent, I could take you to the jail, or, you could spend the night in jail, or you could go to a place that's like the Waldorf, the equivalent of the Waldorf, which means like we would pay like $500 for. It was already like 2 a.m. by then. So my friend is very jappy, and she goes, we'll go to the place that's like the Waldorf. So we were completely off our budget. We paid this money to stay in this gorgeous room, and then they kicked us out by like 10 o'clock the next morning. So that's like we got. I don't know if that's technically getting lost. I mean, we were lost. We didn't have our room. We didn't know where to stay. It was really, really bizarre. So now it's your turn.
Well, my mom submitted a story. I remember her.
Good, because it's only a half an hour in. I'm running out of stories because our audience is not cooperating.
You guys, come on.
Thank you to Key and your cousin, and only like 3 people put in a story. But I guess it's too much. That we have to think of a topic that's quicker, like that we can people can type in faster. But if you guys have any ideas for our future shows, just messenger us or whatever. I thought we'd be back in the studio by now.
I think we'd have to be coming up with ideas. So
yeah, this is how many times have we done this year?
This is the 6th in quarantine.
6th quarantine.
And 48th episode ever.
Wow.
It's crazy. I just checked before we got on. No, so my mom's story was she used to date this guy, and his 2 aunts, his 2 Scottish aunts came to visit from New York City, and my mom was like 19 or whatever, young, like, and she's like, oh, I'll give them a tour of New York City. And my mom grew up on Long Island, like, she doesn't know the city like now. Did she know the city then? So she drove them. She starts driving them around, and she's like, she's like, we get lost, and then she's like, she just keeps saying like, all right, like, as long as we don't end up in Harlem, she's like, ends up in Harlem.
Oh no!
The cop literally says to them, like, what are you doing? She's like, we're lost. Like, we're very lost. He's like, all right. And they, like, escorted them, like, back onto the highway.
That's really scary.
But my mom said that the whole time the ladies were taking pictures of, like, all the really beat-up cars. Because I guess there's rules in England, like, you can't just have, like, a fucking beat-up car. Like, your car has to be, like, in, like, a certain... But New York, it's like, they don't care. They'll register you anything, So they were like, oh, my God, look at that mobile. Like, and, like... She said it was so horrifying, though. She was scared shitless. And they didn't understand.
Yeah, I mean, it's like going to other countries and getting lost in other countries. I don't get to travel that much anymore, but there's nothing scarier than... but getting back to what you said before about people visiting you and you're supposed to take them on a tour. When I was a kid, my cousins live in California. The Saratans, and they have 4 boys. It's my father's brother's kids, and him and his wife. And as a family, we never went to any of these things. But when they would come and visit, all of a sudden, then they would go and we'd see the Statue of Liberty, or we'd see the Empire State Building. Before that we didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, you're in New York, so we'll show you around. But like, why did they take me as a kid? Like, isn't that, if it's important enough to show like it's a great thing in New York City, why didn't we go? But we only went when my cousins would come and visit. We'd see some kind of landmark in New York, and that's how I got to see what it was. So Robin DeVito is saying stories of how we dumped guys or got dumped. Oh, that's a dangerous one. Robin, that's a great one, and it's dangerous, but we will give it a thought. I love it, but you know, we have to just be careful with that one. Adam Snare, how are you? So my boyfriend's saying we don't get lost, so we don't have to ask directions. Oh, be all like that, Michael. Michael's he always refers to himself as he's SMRT, smart. Because he is very smart. He's an electrical engineer, so he's a bit of a brain. And men aren't men known for not asking for directions when they get lost?
Yeah.
You probably did get lost, Michael, but you just won't admit to it.
That's what he's claiming, denial.
Yes, Michael,
Denial.
you're in denial. I love you, but you're in denial. All right, so Key Fitz is saying, okay, cute story. My uncle moved upstate, and my parents were driving to see his new place for the first time. I was 6. My dad pulled over to find out how far away was his exit, and I stick my head out the window. Do you know where my Uncle Eddie lives? Oh, Key, that's so cute. I love it. That's adorable. Here's our screen button. It's adorable and scary.
Yeah, what did they do? They gave you directions, or they said, we don't know who the fuck your uncle is, kid?
All right, so I do have another one. Oh my God, maybe you guys have some of these kind of stories. This was before cell phones. Or I didn't have a cell phone, honestly, till 4 years ago. I got my first cell phone 4 years ago. So I'm way behind the times.
You hit it hard. You got like 4,000 friends on Facebook.
They're all Trump supporters. I love my Trump people. They asked me to be their friend. I asked them to be my friend. It's like a mutual thing. But when I was dating my second husband, who I'm now divorcing, he was moving some stuff. Oh, he was moving into my apartment. I had an apartment in a co-op. I owned a co-op in Windsor Park Apartments in Queens, and he was from Brooklyn. And so he loaded up his stuff in the car, and we loaded up more stuff of his in my car. And I don't know my way around Brooklyn. Brooklyn's like another planet to me. So he's like, okay, just follow me. And then he speeds off. He fucking speeds off. And I got lost. So I have all this stuff in my car. And I'm like, that fucking bastard. I should have known then.
Yes, when there's like dust on your face.
Okay, so Adam has one. Adam Snare has one. At his freshman year in college, he was driving home, having never been far from Long Island on my own. You sound very similar to me, Adam. I missed the LA exit and ended up crossing the George Washington Bridge. Oh my God, you probably were fucking panicking. I had to turn around and miss the exit again. Next thing I knew, I see now entering Connecticut. I ended up giving up and staying at my brother's down in Connecticut that night. Oh, Adam. That's hilarious.
That's the worst.
Oh, hi, Bobby from Limo Talk is watching. Hi, Bobby. How are you? We're talking about times that people got lost. And we were hoping for a story from Graz, who's the limo driver. I mean, if anyone got lost, it would be Graz. All right, Greg has a good one. Greg DeFlippo. I got lost in Italy one night with my cousin. We were walking back to his aunt's house, and after going out in town and drinking a lot, we couldn't find our way back. We wind up passing out on the side of the mountain in olive trees. Oh my God. You got I would love to have gotten a picture of that. So then he wakes up the next morning to a goat laying next to him. It turns out we went up the wrong road and we were supposed to go up the other side of the mountain. Oh my God. That could be a movie and I would pay to see that.
I know, it sounds like an episode of I Love Lucy.
That's funny. So your cousin Heather's saying you guys should talk about going to a concert for the first time. I've actually only been to a handful of concerts in my whole life. You know, but maybe our audience, I'm sure they've been to a lot more concerts than I have. Okay, it's your turn.
All right. Well, I'm gonna read what Taz has got going on.
We're going to share your story.
We're not pre-reading, guys, so blame it on Taz if this has got no momentum. I love you, Taz. All right, for my grandma's Christmas party 2015, my sister had to work but could come later. I told Ma and Dad I could drive her to the party because I'm good with directions. So I try to remember how to get to places. So when we were on the road, it's all going good. This is the first time I drove on that highway. It was raining really hard and it was pitch black. I was going the normal way to Grandma's, and after a while, Tony was like, "Where the hell is the road?" Turns out we changed the ramp since we were there last. So we were in this neighborhood with absolutely no street lights, rammed into a deep pothole, did not see it, that spooked us, had to turn around, found our way back to the highway. We finally stopped at a rest stop, turned around, and retraced our steps, and finally got to the party. Leave it to Washington State for not having signs. Yes.
Taz, we said succinct. The succinct means short.
But me knowing that Taz thought she like totally had it makes the story.
No, I love it, Taz. That's really good.
Taz like catches the keys like from her parents. Like, I got this, guys. Like.
So my boyfriend's saying real men don't need directions. Yeah, right. And Taz is laughing at him. Everybody press the laugh button. You know what? If you are watching right now, if you guys are watching right now, could everybody just press the share button, please, and share our show? Because if you press the share button, then all your friends, you know, might watch it. And we're trying to grow and, you know, include everybody and have everybody in our show. So just, I don't know how to do it live, but you guys are probably more technologically savvy than I am. But if you can't do it live, if you can press the share button after the show, we would really, really appreciate it. All right. I'm trying to think if I have any more stories. I'm running out of stories. I don't know. I got nothing.
Well, I was telling this the other day on quarantine life. My husband didn't want to admit one time we were lost. And he didn't want to take the train out of Manhattan directly, like, home. He wanted to, like, oh, we'll go to Jamaica via subway, and then we'll, like, get on the LIRR from Jamaica. So we, like...
Oh, you just brought up a whole bunch of other ones that I remember. Go ahead.
So we go we leave Manhattan on the subway to Jamaica, and then we get out and, like, start walking, and he's looking at the phone giving us directions and just keeps telling me, like, it's one more block. I'm like, I don't believe you anymore. Like, now we've gone, like, 25 blocks, so now I'm, like, angry, but, like, he's got all the information and whatever, keeping us whatever, so Eagle Scout, whatever. We finally get to fucking Jamaica train station, and it's, like, 5:45 in the morning, and the last train was like at like 5:10.
Oh,
we had to wait till like 7:30 for like the next train.
Oh,
we
my
had to
God.
wait like a long time. I remember him being like, "Hey, there's like a bagel shop like down yonder. Like, I'm gonna like go and get food and come back. Like, you stay up here." It was so bad, but he kept just telling me one more block, and I fucking kept believing him. I'm like,
yeah, even with the phones, you know. But this is another one that I have that's pre-phone. Is I had a friend, a college friend. Oh, let me top you off.
That's my slurping.
This is our wine time.
Oh, and by the way, we hear Ed saying my two hot ladies or my two hot broads.
Oh, I love you, Ed. Thank you.
Ed's one of those ones. Hey, that's
Boy,
perfect. I know. That's a bottomless glass.
The glass that never ends. It's like the song the glass that never ends, and it goes on and on, my friend. So, my boyfriend's saying on the second date with Bonnie, she said, oh, that's right. Okay, Michael just reminded me of something that happened on our second date. Okay. So, you got to remember, you know, we're new. I am very attracted to him. And my friend Kristen Tinsley was in a John Butera show. And we were in one spot, and I wanted to support my friend Kristen, and I thought it was at the place that Street Fighter plays at. What's the name of that bar? KJ Farrell's.
KJ
I
Farrell's.
thought it was at KJ Farrell's. So I said to Michael, we're going to
That's
go
where we're
watch
going.
my friend Kristen. I know where I'm going. And he goes, okay. So he starts following me. First I couldn't even find KJ Farrell's. Then I find it. We go in and there's a band playing there. There's no comics. So I go, oh no. It must be a different place, like the same thing I did at the softball game. So then,
no, it's Coaster.
yeah. So then we get back in the car and he's following me, and we're driving and driving and driving. I don't know where the heck I'm going, and he's as a second date following me. And finally, Kristen calls me on the phone and she's like, "I already went up. Thank you, but just forget it."
Thanks for supporting me, asshole.
No, she said it. She said it in such a sweet way, wasn't it? But
She knew. She
I'm like,
understood that, like, you're not even lying.
oh
Like,
my
I
God, she
literally-
knows me. She knows me. I would have been there, but I just drove my date around in circles like an idiot. So Michael, I'm so happy you didn't dump me after that.
Well,
I forgot about that one.
Didn't you give up going on to a show you were performing at one time?
Say it again.
Didn't you give up trying to find a show you were performing?
Oh yes. I was supposed. It's close to that. John Butera does these shows out in Suffolk County, and I think I was going to support one of my friends. I think it was John Alvaro. I don't remember who. But it was one of the other comics. It's supposed to be in the audience for them because you have to have a certain number of people.
Oh, okay.
It was like a contest, and I get all the way out in Suffolk County. And I can't find this friggin' place with my GPS. And I knew it was only 2 minutes away. And I just kept circling, and I knew it was late. I was sweating. I was having a panic attack. And then I just pulled into a gas station, and I started asking people. I don't remember the name of the place. It's where John Botero usually does his shows. You guys probably know where it is. And it's so finally this man goes, I know the place you're talking about. You're so close to it. You've just been missing it by like this much, because I was ready to turn around and go home. And then this person who depended on me to get up on stage wouldn't have been able to get up on stage. So I didn't want to give up, and I just kept trying and trying. But I made it, and I was able to get in there. So Ed is saying his screen keeps freezing. I know. Michael usually switches to YouTube because he's in Glen Cove and they have terrible internet access out there. It's like the country out there. So it's your turn. You have any more?
Oh my God.
I mean, I feel like we've told 10 million getting lost stories.
Well, one of the times I was coming back from, I believe it was Newport, dropping my little brother off, I definitely like went around the Meadowlands like a bunch of times, like just like kept going through it, being like, oh God damn it, like nothing was going on, but the GPS kept recalculating back to like the same lost, like. Yeah,
just like going around and around
in circles and not knowing where it's supposed to be. That's not good. And especially when you get over to like Jersey, it's like, fuck, am I supposed to be north? Am I south? Like, what the fuck am I supposed to be? Jersey's weird.
Jersey's the worst. Oh my God. Felix from Let's Eat Long Island. Felix, I was talking about you earlier. I don't remember what I was talking about, but I did mention. I was talking about your COVID chef show. And I was mentioning you in some capacity. I don't remember what. Oh, we're on our second glass of wine.
It might not have even.
It was good. What I said about you was good, so you don't have to worry. It was not anything bad.
We were probably just plugging you up.
Yeah, I don't remember why I was talking about you.
No, I think it was before the show started, honestly.
Oh, I remember. No, it was. I was telling her. I was telling Mandy that. On your show is when I realized that Danielle and Joan are mother and daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what
Okay,
it was.
That's what it was.
So Robin's saying it's a good thing you're so adorable, Bonnie. He can look beyond your being blonde. I know. He always says that. He's like, it's good. Oh, okay. This has nothing to do with getting lost, but I think it's an interesting story, and it's my boyfriend's story. He's very, he's an electrical engineer, so he thinks very succinctly, smartly, and I am all over the place. So he shows me a YouTube video. Michael, you could type in the name of the YouTube video in case people want to Look at it. It's called the Hot Crazy Scale. And it's basically a graph of how someone is dateable or married. And it's all very intellectual about, how hot somebody is versus how crazy they are. And there's a something Gillespie zone, which means like they're really out of their fucking mind zone, and you never want to go in that zone. It's a really, really funny podcast, but he probably went to YouTube, so he's not.
Was it probably both us in that category though? Like insane,
he said
undateable.
the minute you're a comedian, you're definitely in the part crazy zone. So your hotness has to make up for it.
Well, I forget what comedian it is that's like, I don't trust anybody that's... Oh, is it Will Romero that's like, I don't trust a hot comedian? He's like...
Was it Will? I don't know.
Yeah, Will Romero. He's like, if you're hot and you're telling jokes, I'm automatically like... He's already like, get off your soapbox, like, you're hot, like, get the fuck down. Like,
I know he always talks about cheese.
He said that
I don't remember that one.
You blocked that part out.
I must have been drinking too much wine.
Oh my god. All right, well, I'll tell a story that's super embarrassing.
Awesome. I'm going to take some wine while you're telling your story.
Yeah, okay, well, when I was in college, I had a drinking problem. That's why I don't have a drinking problem now.
We all had a drinking problem in college.
Thankfully, I got it out of my system, and I don't have a drinking problem anymore, but, my husband and I had taken a break at one point. This is, like, within the first, 5 months of us dating, we took a break, and I was... like a complete fucking mess. Like literally they
because your heart was broken?
Yeah. They literally called him at the party and they were like, we know you guys aren't dating because she's crying about you, but get her fucking out of here. She's a fucking mess. So he fucking picked me up with his friend and his friend's girlfriend, who I didn't know the girlfriend. I'd never seen. I ran out. I thought it was his ex-girlfriend who I had seen him around. And I ran and opened the door. I was going to pull this girl out of the car.
And punch her in her fucking face.
And then it wasn't the girl at all.
Oh, no!
So I got in the car and I was like, I'm sorry. I put my head on the girl, totally passed out. So my now husband, then boyfriend at the time, well, ex, then my then ex, he fucking literally put me up against my dorm and was like, yo, you need to get your shit together. You're fucking insane. I wish you the best. Thinking that
That's
he had
what Glenn said?
Essentially, he probably just fucking put me up against the wall, which later. But I go into the building and I go to the floor and I totally went around the wrong corner and I just go into another room that was not mine.
Oh no!
I lay on the couch, the living room couch, because it was the dorms were not corridor style. It's when you were older and had apartments style. And I wake up to two guys.
Oh my god, that could have gone very wrong.
I know, thank God. And they were the one was oh my god, miss you, okay? And the other one was get the fuck out of our room, what's going on? I was I'm so sorry, I'm a student, I'm sorry, my boyfriend broke up with me,
we've all been there.
The biggest mess of my mess of my life.
You got lost. You got lost in somebody else's room. I
was on my floor.
You're on the floor? Oh my god. That's hilarious.
No, I think what I did, was I went to the one floor up to the same exact corner, 2 doors down and to the right. I think that's what it was. I think when I got out, when I woke up, or when they threw me out, whatever the fuck happened, I was oh shit, I'm at 403. I'm supposed to be at 303.
You were close. So
I was so embarrassed.
So Ed is saying, I'm back, bitches. We're glad you're back. I know your screen was freezing. All right, so my friend Felix has a story. When he was 6, he got lost in A&S in Hempstead. I wandered away from my mom and was lost for over an hour. I found the coffee shop and everyone was nice to me and fed me, etc. They made an announcement in the store about me. When my parents showed, I was upset because that was the end of my party. So as a kid, I think as a kid we've all gotten, we've all wandered away from our parents. I already told the story about Brandon. You get a scream for that one, Felix. That's a good one.
I know, you were told
that's a different one.
They're all different.
that one. Yeah. Ed is saying, what's A&S? What is A&S? That was a department store, right? Felix, just type in. I think A&S used to be a department store that, as one of many, many department stores, is no longer in business. It went out of business like all the rest of them have. Felix, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's a department store. So Robin's saying to Felix, I thought you were going to say they made an announcement and no one came. Robin, that's so mean. Yeah, you're insulting our guests again. You're insulting not a guest. He's a governor's co-host. You're insulting a governor's co-host. I love you, Robin. You're hilarious.
I love Robin.
You are hilarious. But, this doesn't have to do with getting lost, but you brought back a memory, a college memory. I went to Oneonta. That's where I graduated from. I transferred there, and I had this really older woman as my roommate. She was like in her 20s. I think she'd been going to college for a long time. I don't know if she was ever going to graduate. But she was in the military, and everyone was afraid of her. So we had these jokesters on our floor, and they come in. She wasn't in the room. They break into my room. They took my sanitary napkins, and they took all the stickums off, and they started taking the sanitary napkins and putting them all over my room. And when they finished, I said, okay, when so-and-so gets back and she asks me who did this, I'm going to tell them. And then they had this panic-stricken look on their face because she's a badass. And they started collecting all of my sanitary napkins off of the wall, all the places they stuck it. And they were like, make sure you get all of them because they were so afraid of her.
That's an expensive prank, man.
I know. I was like, give me my sanitary napkins back. Okay, so, yes, so I was right. A&S is a department store. Thank you, Felix. It's a competitor of Macy's.
Ed Strabinsky is asking if I'm high. That's
We're
not
high on life. We're high on life.
It's not a requirement for this show.
So Michael's saying his best is about 7 minutes long, guy in white shirt. I'm your girlfriend and I don't even know what you're talking about.
His best one.
Best is about 7 minutes long, guy in white shirt. What does that mean?
3 are too
Michael, what are you talking about?
Crazy. I think he's trying to go back to the graph.
Oh, I think the name of the thing? No, Michael. What's the name of the video with the hot crazy scale? And then it was on it was on that thing How I Met My Mother. They kind of stole that idea.
Okay.
And the guy who was played Yugi Hauser, what's that guy's name? That young guy.
Doogie.
He was Doogie Howser. He had the hot crazy scale on How I Met Your Mom, but like an abridged version that they stole from that guy. All right, so this again because we've run out of stories. We only have about 7 minutes left. I'm going to tell you a funny story of college because you can't make this shit up. This is stuff that really happened. These crazy guys, it was a co-ed dorm, okay? So I had this mature roommate who everyone was afraid of. But next door to me were these 2 girls, very, sweet girls. So we had a suite room, which is the room that you watch TV in. And there was nothing in there but the TV and the couch. So the girls leave. And while they left, they got into their room. They took every frickin' thing out of their room, from their bed, their dresser, the posters, and they reset up everything in the suite room. So when the girls came back, their room was completely empty. There was nothing in the suite room.
Oh my God, that's so weird.
And then they're like, "Where's all our stuff?" And then the guys just point. And they go into the suite room, and it's all arranged. Like, they put all their furniture in there. It was one of the funniest things. It was so mean, but it was funny. Sometimes mean things are funny. Oh, thank you, Felix. Yes, Neil Patrick Harris. That's the name of the guy that played Doogie Howser. Yes. So, and it's a free country. Mandy looks like she's HAF. What does that mean?
I guess he's saying high as fuck because he's saying she looks
Oh,
higher.
I don't know what all these different
acronyms,
these different letters stand for. My daughter got such a kick out of it. Like when I first got my phone and she was teaching me how to text. She would have things like TTL, and she'd be like, "But Mom, what do you think that means?" And I would just guess because I had no idea.
You're like titty licking.
Yeah, titty tot. And she's like, "No, that means talk to you later." And she had to like teach me what all the different things meant. And she got such a kick out of asking me what I thought it meant, and I would just type in what I thought it meant, and she'd be like laughing, like, "No, you're not even close." And then she would tell me what it was.
Well, I love the one, it's like a group chat. It's like a screenshot of a group chat. And they're like, "Oh, so-and-so had the baby." And like there's a picture of like a newborn baby. And the grandpa just texts, "Okay."
Oh my God! Yes, my friend Terry from work, another teacher, which is really scary because she now is the technical guru of the school. When she first learned how to text, she could only text back "okay." That was it. She couldn't text back anything else. But I still, if somebody texts me, I text like the whole sentence, like I'm writing an essay. And everybody's like, "You don't have to do that." Like everybody just abbreviates shit. And I act like I'm writing like a paragraph for a college paper. So Robin's saying, "Bonnie, that's what you get for not wearing tampons." Oh, all right. I'm going to end this on a really gross story. You ready? We're going to turn from lost stories to gross stories. I think next week we should do gross stories.
Right.
GROSS. Gross stories.
Let's do it.
The reason I don't wear tampons back in the day was because the girl that I used to be friends with, who I won't say her name, who convinced me to go to Buffalo University, which I hated that school. That's where my daughter goes. She wore tampons, and this was at Buffalo, and she had a tampon in, and she couldn't get it out.
Oh my God.
It was stuck in there. And then, do you remember toxic shock syndrome? If you keep a tampon in too long, you get toxic shock. You could die from that. So the string was hanging out, and she was asking for help, and I was so fucking grossed out. And I'm pulling the string and trying to get it out. And she was tensing up. And, you have to relax your muscles, otherwise it's like a gynecological exam.
That was like your first lesbian experience.
And I'm pulling the thing trying to help her, and it wouldn't come out. It was like the grossest thing ever. And I said, at that point, I am never, ever going near a freaking tampon ever, ever.
God. Well, the girl my sister used to work with, she put a tampon in and she didn't know that you're supposed to do the applicator. Like, she just put it in.
I don't even know. I've never used one.
Well, a tampon, like, it's in like a thing. It's in a vessel and then you push it through and it's...
Vessel? Sorry.
Which you discard. And the girl didn't know to do that. And she fucking passed out at my sister's job. They were...
Oh my God.
They brought her to the hospital. They're like, "What's wrong with her?" And I guess they're like, "Oh, this fucking that's improperly applied."
There's probably a medical term for it. So Felix is saying, "I thought LOL meant lots of luck." Yeah, I like that. Who decides what these initials mean? Who says it? Yeah, we can mean anything we want it to mean. We could do whatever we want. So Taz is saying, "Doggy, I have a lot of gross stories." All right, so next week we are going to do gross stories. But before we sign off, Mandy has an announcement. She's going to be where tomorrow?
Oh, well, tomorrow you can find me on the Dan Romano Show from 9:30 to 10:30, and then I will be doing my episode of Quarantine Life every Friday alongside my husband at 8 o'clock, and Bonnie's got...
Not till May 7th.
Okay, because it's...
I have to recover from the last one when I couldn't figure out how to get on Facebook Live. I'm still recovering from that.
It's 2:00 every day, and the schedule is insane. Different hosts every day. So that's a great show. Check it out. Hashtag Quarantine Life. That's on Govs Radio. I'll be on Friday. Bonnie had her episode on the 27th. If you haven't tuned into that.
Oh yeah, I did it. And I was a 25-minute delay because I couldn't get on Facebook Live. That's how technologically challenged I am.
She posted
So
the
right, I
status.
just have to read Robin's comment. This is funny. Robin DeVito says, we weren't allowed to wear tampons because her mom said that only tramps wear tampons.
Well,
Robin! Oh my God, she should be on this show with
well,
us.
Robin, my mom told me I was a tramp if I wanted above my kneecap shaved. So just your kneecap and your fucking shin got shaved, or else you're a fucking tramp.
Well, we know we're really grossing people out because Ed is now giving us the throw-up emojis.
Yes.
So it's working. So next week, we're going to share gross, GROSS stories. Gross stories because I am assuming we're still in quarantine next week.
Yeah. So start thinking, guys. I want to hear about all of it.
My ex is going for an antibody test.
Oh, okay.
If my ex finds out that he had the coronavirus back before it was, he thinks he had it before it was all, everything had hit, the shit had hit the fan. If he has immunity, then that means our house was exposed. I have immunity, and I won't have to wear this mask next week.
Bonnie's
So
coming
we're
down.
waiting to find out if that's going to happen.
And I hopefully fucking already had the coronavirus when I was coughing on Tony back in.
Yeah, he was
January.
calling you Typhoid Mary. Back
And then he
Yes.
got tested for bronchitis, but I don't know, guys. I mean, a lot of people, we've been sick over the past couple months, and you're like, shit, did I have it? Did I not?
Yeah, a lot of people are like, they weren't sure.
So we will be back to you guys with more details.
Thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we want to hear stories about things
Gross.
that gross you out.
Yeah, things that gross you out or that you saw that you thought was gross. And we started a little bit, but I think it's going to get really nasty.
Yeah, we only eased into it.
Yeah, so bring your barf bag and meet us again, same time, same channel, like Batman.
We love you guys